All right, welcome back to the Rodcast. Time to go behind the burnt orange curtain, talk a little Texas football. I want to get to this tweet from Eric Galco, I believe is his name. I hope I didn't mispronounce it. He's director of football ops, player personnel director for the Shrine Bowl, and he was tweeting about players, and he tweeted about Quinn Ewers. He said this in a recent tweet: despite all of his college success, especially after this past season, people still seem to be underrating Quinn Ewers. He has all the talent and potential to be to be the first overall pick, worthy by season's end. He said by the end of the season, he'll be a 21-year-old prospect with nearly 40 career starts in college. Among FBS QBs last year, returning to school, Ewers was top 5 in lowest turnover worthy plays. He was also that according to Pro Football Focus, he was also top 5 in adjusted completion percentage on 10 plus yard throws, touchdown to interception ratio on 10 plus yard throws, and completion percentage under pressure as well. So, yeah, I mean, I would say this about Quinn Ewers. I think Quinn Ewers is embarking potentially on a elite season. Like, he could have an elite season, have him in New York City as a Heisman finalist. Um, but there are some people that believe that Quinn Ewers could this season not regress, but maybe plateau. That maybe you don't see him kind of break through that ceiling, and hit his what everybody believes his ultimate upside is. I mean, it's a guy that was rated at one point to be the highest rated recruit in modern recruiting history. I'll say this about Quinn because I've been breaking down Quinn's game. Sark's scheme actually for NFL scouts, they think that Sark's scheme makes, and it's a quarterback friendly scheme, that it makes life really easy on his quarterbacks, right? It's a deception based passing game, right? So there's a lot of play action pass, a lot of RPO, a lot of screens. If you look at the play action pass rate, the rate of RPOs and the rate of screens, you're probably looking at somewhere in the range of 65 to 70% of the passing game is just play action pass, screens, and RPOs. And so I don't think it's Quinn's fault, but he gets not criticized, but at least I think is a negative data point against him oftentimes, because teams think, oh, you know what, all the Sark is using all these cheat codes to help him. And every quarterback in NFL or college have better numbers on RPO throws compared to non-RPO throws, on play action pass compared to non-play action pass. That is across the board. So it is a quarterback friendly scheme. Now the NFL, they want to see quarterbacks on just straight drop backs, predictable passing situation, straight drop back, be able to pick a defense apart. And that's why if you go look at that tweet from Eric Galco, he puts up 3 videos. They're all straight drop back. None of them are play action passes. They're not RPOs. They're all straight drop back. And then they're him kind of extending the plays, but they're all straight drop. Because that's what the NFL wants to see from Quinn. Because in Sark's offense, you just don't get a lot of it. And you only get that on a third and long, really, where Sark, everybody knows he's got to throw the ball. And Sark's like, well, why even worry about this deception at this point? Everybody knows we're throwing the ball. We got to throw the ball. Let's not waste time. Let's not have the potential for a pre-snap penalty. Let's not shrink our margin for error with, having him have to have the sleight of hand or execute the mesh point. So that's, and like I say, it's not a knock against Quinn. That's just Sark's system. And I love the system. I think it's great. It is as a defender, it's really hard going up against a Sark offense because it's just an amalgamation of cheat codes and force multipliers. He stacks them on top of one another, pre-snap motions and shifts, and then the play action pass and or the RPOs, the really compressed sets and funky formations. He does a lot of different things that are meant to overload the central nervous system or the central processing unit of the defense. And then there's a blown coverage or there's a mental mistake by the defense. But this is what I'll say about Quinn, because, and we'll get into this a little bit deeper when we go behind the burnt orange curtain again, because I kind of want to make this a little series and talk about Quinn and why he could this year take a huge leap. Number one, you go look at how he handles pressure. The NFL is concerned about how they're concerned about him in straight drop back situations. They want to see him be a straight drop back quarterback at times without the deception based passing game, and see what his numbers are. And it is true that you go look at his numbers on play action pass. This is according to Pro Football Focus. Quinn Ewers, 8th in the country in play action pass Pro Football Focus grade. So he's 8th on, and if you go look at his overall passing grade on RPOs, he's 2nd in Pro Football Focus passing grade on RPOs. So he's top 10 in play action pass grade and RPO grade from Pro Football Focus, throwing the football, right? On non-play action pass plays, his Pro Football Focus passing grade, 83rd. That's what the NFL wants to see. They want to see him straight drop back, and of course he can do it. He can make any throw on a football field from off platform, all types of ways. They want to see him do it more. So I think Sark knows that too. So Sark, this year you're going to see this more straight drop back on some of the more standard and earlier downs. Because I think Sark trusts Quinn now, knowing the offense, to be able to do that, execute that. But that's why the timing with the receivers is going to be big. You don't want to be throwing on early downs like that when you don't have to, if you're going to put yourself behind the chains because the receiver runs the wrong route or the timing's off, or, Quinn, the throw is off because their timing's. That's going to be big. That's why Sark's worried about that chemistry, Patrick. We talked about that. That's why he's a little paranoid about it.
No, and
if he's going to indeed have more straight drop back.
I think that was what we saw in the spring game. That was probably one of the more concerning was his with Isaiah Bond, that there was almost no timing between the two of them. And then, they didn't play a ton in that game, and it wasn't, not a huge sample size. But that was one of the pieces. If you watch that game, you went, oh, I would have really loved to see them just in step, where they knew it, and just it's a different step, and you get it, and it's going to take time. But maybe that's a good thing in the grand scheme, because they killed it. Maybe they don't work as hard this summer and spend time and go, man, we look like idiots out there. And neither one of us wants to look like idiots, because it's going to cost us millions of dollars if we're not in timing. Both of us. Damn right about that. Man, we saw A.D. Mitchell. Me and A.D. Mitchell play well. He went in the second round. Mm-hmm. You want to be a first round pick, Isaiah Bond? We better work. Yeah. So that would be the hope, is that they saw that they didn't have that. They know they need each other. He did have better timing with some of the other wide receivers, but you need to have it with all of your guys, because if you don't have it with one, they don't need to defend it. They don't need to help out on that side. They don't need to do as much, because they know the ball ain't going there very often.
They can take that guy away.
So I agree with you.
That was evident early on. I wouldn't freak out about it, because they got all off season to figure it out. But if Sark's concerned about it, and you saw a little sneak peek of it in the spring game, definitely something that Texas needs to prioritize. Also, NFL scouts, this will be the last point, and then we'll get to break, but you got a couple of these. They want to see more straight drop back from Quinn, successful straight drop back attempts from Quinn, but they also want to see him handle pressure better. His pressure to sack rate overall is around 20%, but in 2022 it was 13.9%. In 2023 it was over 25%. Which one is closer to the real Quinn? All right, and they want to see in 2024, is he the guy that doesn't handle pressure really well? Because that was the case last season, but in 2022 he did. He handled pressure relatively well in 2022. That is also going to be a big part of it. Because if you go look at it in the allowed pressure percentage by Quinn in 2022, 14% allowed pressure. In 2023, 22%. So they wanted that if that number increases or stays high, that it doesn't drop, the pressure to sack percentage, the allowed pressure percentage, NFL scouts are gonna wonder if Quinn knows, if he understands the pocket science well enough when there's pressure, how to handle that pressure in the pocket. So I think those are the two big things that NFL scouts, that he's an NFL scout, the Senior Bowl official, that they want to see him work on. Handling the pressure, how he handles the pressure, and being able to extend plays and keep the play alive so we can get deeper into the progressions. And then they want to see him do it on straight dropbacks, just straight drop, because Sark's offense, like I said, it's so quarterback friendly. It's built-in deception They want to see him be able to throw, thread the needle and throw vertical shots down the field against defenses when they know it's happening, when the coverages and pressure packages are constructed specifically to defend the passing game. And he still can thread the needle and he still can pick them apart. If he can do that, then we're talking about being worthy of being number one overall top quarterback taken in the draft. All right, we got some more